Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there, having a good day, doing some positive things with your day today. It is Friday. And, of course, I was hoping to do something a little bit lighter today, a little bit lighter of a topic today. But unfortunately, we have got to bring awareness and talk about this situation out of Memphis. The world is about, or at least the country, is bracing themselves for the body cam footage that's about to be released later on today of a savage unaliving of a young 29-year-old man by the name of Tyre Nichols. Now, I haven't done a lot of police brutality conversations on this show in a while for various reasons. One, because the Tubes doesn't like it. So when it comes to showing certain footage or certain images, I can't show things like that, even now more than ever, which is ridiculous. They can get very particular about the kind of content that you're showing on the screen. So even on this show, I have to be careful on the content that I show you guys, okay? Now, I don't have the body cam footage, okay? Body cam footage is not coming out until this evening. On a Friday, by the way. I just want to point that out. It's going to be on a Friday that they are releasing this information. This is not going to be good for Memphis, okay? It may not even be good for the rest of the country as well, given the fact that there's information and details that have recently been released detailing how gruesome and how horrific this body cam footage really is. Yeah, it's about to be really, really bad here, y'all. And I tell you this, before I jump into all this, okay? Of course, I'm going to be checking out the footage. I want to see it for my own self. And I will gauge whether or not it is footage that I can comfortably watch with you guys as a family. Because obviously, if it's really that bad, I don't think anybody wants to see this, to be really honest. Okay? So just wanted to give you guys a fair heads up, a fair warning on that. Now, within this conversation, we do need to talk about this because this is something that we hear a lot about, okay? I say it a lot. This is a tale as old as time. It's a tale as old as time. We have heard this story multiple times. The only thing that is different is the color of the skin of these cops, all right? Which I'll explain a little bit more here in just a little bit, all right? I think that's one of the things that a lot of people are extremely shocked about as well. And then there's other people that are shocked for other reasons too, which I'm going to get into in just a minute, okay? So before we jump into all this, because I know this is a conversation that not everybody has heard about or is even knowing about. So I'm begging every single last one of you guys, please, if you even give a doggone, please hit that like button down below. It would really help push the story out here so that people know what's going on and what the country is really bracing for right now, okay? And of course, send it past 300 likes as you guys start to file in. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to every single last one of y'all. This is a serious conversation. What else is new? It wouldn't be the Pascal Show if it wasn't a serious situation or a serious conversation. But this one's another serious one again. And I was hoping for something light, but unfortunately, we got to talk about things that matter today. So please hit that like button down below. And do not forget to hit that subscribe button, okay? It'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you so very much. And if you want to join, hit that membership down below. Become a member of the family, okay? A family membership. Anyway, guys, okay. Now, the thing is this is, it's a very, as star in Texas said, this is an extremely sad story. Okay. This is a absolutely devastating story about a young man, 29 years old, Tyre Nichols. And again, they're saying that this could be the footage may be worse, maybe worse than Rodney King. Now, I want you guys to remember, I don't know, some of y'all young, okay? Some of y'all, some young cats out here that haven't seen Rodney King, or may not even know about Rodney King. You may know, like, oh, I've heard a story about it, but maybe you've never seen the footage, okay? Don't worry, I'm not going to show you guys the footage, but I'm saying the footage alone on the Rodney King situation is mind-blowing, shocking, heartbreaking, surprised that young man at the time, surprised that Rodney King made it through that incident. Now, we already know about everything that happened. LA was in flames. There was all kinds of stuff that happened during that time. It brought a serious focus on police brutality, okay, on police brutality, on the Black community and all of that. It did. But it's still the same. Nothing's changed between Black and blue. Still the same stuff that has happened over and over and over again. And to the point where now we come all the way here to 2023. And has things changed? I don't know. I couldn't say that they have. Because if you got a cop, a police officer talking and giving their own details on what their eyes saw in this body cam footage, and they are saying it is worse than Rodney King, it makes you wonder if things have really changed in this country. It really does. Real quick, Anna, Lily's mom, thank you so much for the $20 super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. A Friday with another very difficult conversation, but we need to have this conversation nonetheless. And there's other stories I will be talking about a little bit later on today, so keep your peepers open and make sure that notification bell is on so you know what is going on. But real quick, this is what the title says here. We're going to see acts in the body cam that defy humanity. Memphis top cop warns fatal traffic stop beating of Tyre Nichols by 5 amped up cops was worse than Rodney King. And he wasn't driving recklessly, as footage is going to be released later on this evening around 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So do your math if this is a story that you want to keep your eyes close on. You know for a fact I will. But when you see this and you hear this, to me, real talk, y'all, I don't need to see no body cam footage. I will take this top cop's own description of it because I don't want that burned in my brain. I really don't. I don't want that forever singed into my brain matter. I don't. The description is enough. But of course, we need to see it to make sure that it is actually true. Right? One person's perspective could be one thing, another person's perspective could be another. Now, before we go into this, because I know a lot of people are going, who's Tyre Nichols? What's the whole story behind this and all that? So let me find my mouse because it likes to disappear on me from time to time. But we need to get into a little bit of this, which is what we know and still don't know about what led Tyre Nichols' demise. Okay? I think that's important to let everybody know a little bit more information about this. Okay. All right. So, just kind of a brief breakdown. Okay. So, it's been almost 3 weeks since a traffic stop in Memphis led to a violent arrest, and 3 days later, the demise of the 29-year-old black driver. Tyre Nichols was hospitalized after he was pulled over on January 7th. Police have said five, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Memphis Police Department officers who were also black, by the way, were fired after an internal investigation and are facing criminal charges, including second-degree M charges. Remember, Tyre Nichols is no longer here. He has passed on after this savage attack, after a routine traffic stop. Okay? Key questions remain unanswered as the nation allegedly already vigilant of how police treat people of color, especially following the mass protest of 2020, awaits for police to release footage of the incident. Now, Angelina Knox just said, if they are speaking on CNN, please send me that link, and then I'll make sure that I pull that up in a little bit, because I can maybe download it and show it, okay? Because I'd like to know this as well. Now, Infinite Content, what up, Doe? Let me get this first, and I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to hold this comment here, okay? So, let me hold on to this. Let me hold on to that, okay? Infinite Content, and I appreciate you being here, bro. Thank you so much. Okay, so obviously the information that we know is this is what we know so far. So let's hear here's what we know, okay? According to this article here, the police confrontation. On January 7th, around 8:30 p.m., Memphis officers pulled over a vehicle for suspected reckless driving, according to a statement from Memphis police. A confrontation occurred between officers and the vehicle's driver, later identified as Nichols, who then fled on foot, according to Memphis police. Officers apprehended him, and quote unquote another confrontation occurred, resulting in Nichols' arrest, police said. Okay? It's not clear what about his driving might have appeared reckless, how far Nichols fled on foot, who was involved in the initial police encounter, how officers apprehended him, how long these quote-unquote confrontations lasted, why police felt compelled to confront Nichols twice, and where exactly this happened. We ain't got nothing so far. Okay? At a Thursday press conference, Shelby County District Attorney Mulroy, said there was an elapsed period of time in getting medical help from Nichols when he was injured during a traffic stop by Memphis police officers. This district attorney also said that there was a traffic stop and initial altercation involving several officers and Nichols. Pepper spray was deployed, and Nichols ran, he said. There was another altercation at a nearby location at which the serious injuries were experienced by Mr. Nichols. He continued. After some period of time of waiting around afterward, he was taken away by an ambulance. On January 10th, 3 days after the stop, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation announced Nichols had passed on due to injuries sustained in this use of force incident with officers, according to a statement. He suffered, this is what Tyre suffered, extensive bleeding caused by severe beating. according to preliminary results of an autopsy commissioned by attorneys for his family. We can state that preliminary findings indicate Tyre suffered extensive bleeding caused by severe beating, and that his observed injuries are consistent with what the family and attorneys witnessed on the video of his fatal encounter with police on January 7th, 2023. And this is what, according to Benjamin Crump, because he now is representing the family, if I'm correct. All right. And this is what he said in the statement as well. Now, CNN, the article I'm reading here, has asked Crump for a copy of the autopsy commissioned by the family, but he said the full report is not yet ready. According to the reporting, up until like this, according to the date of this recording or this article here. Okay. Officials have also not released Nichols' autopsy. Okay. All 5 officers are facing charges in Nichols' demise. After its internal investigation, Memphis police identified and fired 5 officers involved in the traffic stop due to their violation of multiple department policies. So, Officer Bean, Haley, Martin, Mills, and Smith were terminated for failing in their excessive use of force, duty to intervene, and duty to render aid, the department said in a statement. Now, think about this. Excessive force, we already know that. Duty to intervene, okay. But duty to render aid, like the fact that they did not, allegedly, this is what their own department is claiming. Their own department is basically saying that they did not render aid to this man. Ridiculous. Okay? Ridiculous. And I know you guys got questions and all that. I'm going to be pulling those up. And yes, I'm sure he is speaking right now. I will pull that up afterwards. We need to know this information. I want to stay on this timeline properly, at least. So if you guys do have it, the link of him speaking, please send it my way, and I will make sure that we put that up. Okay? So let me continue here, okay? Because this is the meat and potatoes. We need to know this stuff before we jump the gun and hear him and all that, okay? And I will pull up the live in a little bit, okay? So let's get in here. But like I said, the fact that you have them who did not render aid, that says a lot about this incident and what was seen on this body cam footage. 5 officers did this, okay? So Martin, Smith, Bean, Haley, Mills Jr. have each been charged with 2nd degree M, aggravated assault, 2 charges of aggravated kidnapping, 2 charges of official misconduct, and 1 charge of official oppression, according to both Shelby County Criminal Court and Shelby County Jail records. Although all 5 former officers, have been charged, it's unclear what role each officer played in the incident. A statement from the Memphis Police Association, the union representing the officers, declined to comment on the terminations beyond saying that the city of Memphis and Nichols' family deserve to know, quote unquote, deserve to know the complete account of the events leading up to his demise and what may have contributed to it. In the addition to the firing of these officers, 2 Memphis Fire Department employees who were part of Nichols' initial patient care were also fired. Department Public Information Officer Ward told CNN, said this on CNN. It's also unclear to what extent these employees were taking care of Nichols and what type of aid was rendered, if any at all. The fact that like I said, they let this man bleed out. Real talk. When asked on Tuesday what those fire department employees did or didn't do, family attorney Antonio Romanucci told CNN there were limitations on how much he could say during a period of time before the EMS services arrived on the scene. Fire is on the scene. Interesting. And they are there with Tyre and the police officers prior to EMS arriving, he said. So as you guys say across the pond, the fire brigade showed up. So EMS, okay, so during a period of time before EMS services arrived on the scene, fire is on the scene. So they were there and they did nothing. Like I said, this does not make any sense at all. And it makes sense that you're looking at the situation and they're sitting there saying, they did not do their due diligence even to render aid on this young man. Zero. All right. It's very, very frustrating. Now let me see. Oh, shoot. Now let me see if I can pull this up because I know all y'all are asking for it. I'm trying to see if you guys sent it to me in an email. I don't have that, so I got to look. Yeah, I didn't get anything yet. So let me see what I can pull up here. Okay, real quick. Let me see here. There it is. Let me see if I can pull. Okay, so I'm gonna be going backwards a little bit. It is they have already been in this for like a good 5 or so minutes. Yeah, about well a little while now. So I'm gonna try to pull this up for you guys. Let me just pull this down. Hold on one second. So I'm going to try to do this real quick, guys.
Along with attorney Tony Romanucci, attorney Ernestine Doyce, and attorney Van Turner, who is also the president of the Memphis chapter of the NAACP. We are proud to represent the family of Tyre Nichols. Also present with us, of course, is Bishop Williamson, who has been a steady faith leader for us in this ordeal, as well as Kareem Ali, who is a Memphis native, who is my investigator, but also is a person in the community who, even before the video came out, the community activists were saying that something isn't right about this. So I want to thank all those community activists and all those community people who stood up for justice even before we showed up, even before the camera showed up. I think they deserve a big round of applause. And we have the SCLC president here as well. And obviously we have the people most affected.
I'm cranking it up, guys.
By this tragedy, who are showing such grace under these tragic circumstances. That is the stepfather of Tyre Nichols, Mr. Rodney Wells, and the mother of Tyre Nichols, Miss Robin Wells. We can never applaud you enough for your grace and dignity throughout this. So what are we here for today at this hour? We're here to give a reaction to the charges that were announced by District Attorney Mulroy yesterday, and to give remarks in anticipation of the last documentation of Tyre Nichols alive on this earth. And so we begin with our reactions to the charges. And we applaud the district attorney for bringing charges against the 5 officers for second-degree murder, aggravated assault, aggravated kidnapping, official misconduct, and official oppression. Very important charges against these 5 officers. As Pastor Thomas refers, sometimes I'm referred to as Black America's Attorney General. And we stand on the principle of equal justice. So let me be exceedingly clear on this point. When we look at how these 5 black officers who were caught on camera committing a crime, and when we look at how fast the police chief and the police department terminated them, and we look at how swiftly the district attorney brought charges against them in less than 20 days, then we want to proclaim that this is the blueprint going forward for any kind, any officers, whether they be black or white, will be held accountable. No longer can you tell us we got to wait 6 months to a year, even though we got a video with evidence of the excessive force and the crime. No more can you tell us that anymore, because with these 5 black officers, you all moved it swiftly. And as the chief said, it was important for the community that they took swift action and that justice moved swiftly against these 5 officers who happen to be African American. Well, when it's white officers, we think it's also important to the community that there is swift action and that we move swiftly to justice. I mean, because let's be honest, let's think about it. This is not the first time that we saw police officers committing crime and engaging in excessive, brutal force against black people in America who were unarmed. But yet, we have never seen swift justice like this. Think about it. Laquan McDonald in Chicago, Illinois. Attorney Ramanucci, what was that, over a year? 14 months, even though they had that video on day 1. Think about the video of Eric Gardner in Staten Island, New York. How long it took Kareem on that one. Think about all these cases, Alton Sterling, Silky in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, on video. Think about Pamela Turner, Houston, Texas, killed on video. Took years for them to bring charges in her case, even though they had the video day 1. Think about Ronald Green in Louisiana. I mean, had that video for day 1, took over a year to bring charges against them. I mean, so many, man, my God. Think about 14-year-old Tamir Rice on video. And why justice didn't move swiftly for any of these black people when they were killed by white police officers. So we have to make the point exceedingly clear. We now have the blueprint, America, and we won't accept less going forward in the future. We won't have black officers treated differently than white officers. We want equal justice under the law. Tyre deserved it. Tamir Rice deserve it. Ronald Green deserve it. Alton Sterling deserve it. Eric Garner deserve it. Pamela Turner deserve it. All our children. Byron Williams deserve it. I mean, he was killed for riding a bicycle while black in Las Vegas on video. And yet the investigation is still going on over a year. And so we have a precedent that has been set here in Memphis. And we intend to hold this blueprint for all America from this day forward. Now, also, and you're going to hear from her, man, we're grace and dignity for Rovon, Tyre's mother. She said previously that she feels God used her son as an assignment. And Bishop Williamson, even though it's very, very painful, and God knows it's tragic, but she believes God used her son as an assignment. And her and Mr. Wells said this assignment is for reform. Reform that we can try to prevent some of these hashtags of black and brown people being unjustly killed by police. That we can create a Tyre law here in Tennessee. That would be that would emphasize the importance of police officers, President Turner, to have a duty to intervene when they see crimes being committed, even if those crimes are being committed by their fellow officers. That would be the appropriate legacy that we give Tyre Nichols.
Real quick, I want to pull up some of these things. I didn't know that we were going to be doing that. There was going to be a live here, and I might be jumping up a little bit ahead so we can hear what the mother has to say and all that stuff too here. Okay, so hopefully you guys aren't offended by me skipping through a little bit of this of Crump's speech here. But one thing I wanted to point out, because obviously I did not know that they were going to go live today. Rob Slack did say, I live in Memphis. They have even closed schools today around the city, also after school activities. Yep. Just really quick, the reason why I say that is because of what infinite content. I've been holding this for a while, and I know you guys have said so much in the chat. So I want to get that pulled up. And obviously I didn't know that there was going to be a live here. But infinite content said this is a deliberate news dump by Memphis PD on a Friday evening to minimize the damage. They've been asking for calm since Monday. This is going to be very bad. Now, real quick, I will continue this. I promise you that. But I did want to respond to this before I go through your chats and all that, because there's been super chats and all that stuff I need to bring up here too. Yes. This is the reason why I'm saying I don't get why they're doing this today. Why not on a Monday? Why not on a Tuesday? Why not in the middle of the week? A Friday gives a lot of people, a lot of protesters, etc., a lot of time to let this brim, to let this fester, to let this percolate inside their spirits, to the point where Memphis could be in very big trouble this weekend. They could be in very big trouble tonight, or just the whole freaking weekend. And then it bleeds into the work week. You see what I'm saying? I still don't understand why on a Friday, they're dropping it when you know for a fact people are off school, people are not, they're done with their 9 to 5s for the week. They got the weekends to go out there, get out in the streets and demonstrate and do whatever else that they want to do. So that's one part that I'm like, man, that is not a good thing. And of course, this could very well be like Rodney King, right? This could very well be riots in the streets, absolute chaos, things getting lit on fire, pandemonium, right? Mayhem, anarchy. If this body cam footage really does depict what we're hearing from other people, what they say is so bad. If they say it's just as bad, if not worse, than one of the worst police brutalities ever caught on film, have mercy. One of them, by the way. Let's not forget George Floyd, right? But I'm just saying, one of the worst. And you're saying it's worse than that? Have mercy. This is going to be bad, okay? This is going to be very, very bad. Now, I'm going to continue, I promise, but I got a couple things and I need to catch up, okay, to you guys in the family chat. So I appreciate all y'all being here. Tisha, thank you so much for the $10 super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Anna, again, thank you. Whoa, thank you, Anna, Lily's mom, for the $50 super sticker. Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so very, very much. Okay, I really do appreciate it. I'm gonna play a little bit more of Crump, but I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit because there's obviously more that's going on here. Cedar Jones, what's up, man? Thank you so much for the 10. I just found footage of Tyree skateboarding and posted it on my TikTok. He was so talented, man, and I can't watch it without tearing up. Yeah. I do have a video of him skateboarding as well, which I'm going to show you guys in a little bit as well. Seemed like a very good-hearted, creative, skateboarding, loving guy. And now this has all gone down. No matter what happened beforehand, he didn't deserve to pass on. Not in this way. I agree with you, Cedar Jones, 110%. It is absolutely devastating that we're even seeing this kind of stuff. All right. Deborah Watford, thank you so much for becoming a member. Welcome to the family. And just like Deborah, you guys can join, support the channel in any way you can. That'd be greatly appreciated. All right. I really, really would appreciate it. So consider joining the family and becoming a family member. Okay. Becoming a member of the family. All right. Sorry, I'm just trying to scoot this all the way up to the very beginning or to the very top of the chat. I'm going to roll a little bit more of Benjamin Crump. Okay. But I do think that we all want to hear the family speak. And so I want to get to that here in just a second. Let's take a look at a little bit more of this. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. All right. And let me get this super sticker real quick. Shannon B. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Let's rock and roll, y'all.
If we really say we want justice for justice, it's not just justice for one family, it's justice for all of us. That's what Rovine is praying for. She wants reform. We want this duty to intervene to become Tyree's law, just like they have Carry-On Horns law in the state of New York. And for those of you who don't know that, sister, as me and attorney McElmore talked this morning, Carrie-Ann Horn was a black police officer. She witnessed one of her fellow officers brutalizing a black citizen. And she intervened and stopped him. And got assaulted herself when she tried to stop him. But because she intervened, she was retaliated against and she was terminated and had to fight almost a decade-long battle to get justice because they had no duty to intervene for police officers before her courageous act. And the issue is we have to make it official. We have to make it documented.
It's coming, guys.
We got to put it on the books. We have to have notice that police officers, you have a duty to intervene when you see a crime being committed. You expect the people to say something. Well, why don't y'all show us how to do it? You all go first when you see a crime being committed. And then people in our community will feel a lot more safe when they go intervene and say, we saw a crime. When you want us to tell what we saw, well, you tell what you saw too. Amen? And so this is what Miss Rose Vaughn and Rodney and Jamal and Kiwana and Michael, his siblings, that's what they want. They want reform with these charges.
And absolutely, we need to be better on staying on these kind of topics, and on these types of moments like this, because there should not be a white, black, doesn't matter person on this planet that should ever be fearful of getting pulled over by the cops, or fearful for their life, thinking that their life is going to be over as soon as they have a routine traffic stop happen. I just saw somebody in the comment section in the family chat just say, hey, you know, I'm white and I'm worried about, I'm still nervous. I get even more nervous now than ever getting pulled over by police. That is not a feeling that any of us should be having. None of us should be feeling that. None of us. And there are videos of police brutality on white and other people of color. I'm serious. Black, white, Puerto Rican, or Asian. It doesn't matter. Polka dotted, green, purple. There are videos out here of some serious excessive force on civilians. Just regular, good old fashioned American people losing their lives or getting beat within an inch of their life because God knows what that woman or that officer in blue is feeling that day. And it's scared. It's scary. I can understand someone saying, like Catherine said, you know, it's me, I'm white and petrified. Absolutely. I understand it. Okay? Absolutely. Because it's happening everywhere. It's happening everywhere. We just happen to be hearing stories of like this, where you're seeing someone lose their life because they got beat to their demise, beat to their end. And that's absolutely terrifying. And yes, there needs to be a new wake up on certain things. Real talk. Some of these things need to stop. These moments like this need to stop. You know, like saving somebody from a burning building, or, you know, getting a cat from a tree, or catching a bad guy, catching Brian Koberger. You see what I'm saying? Those kind of things, allegedly Brian Koberger, let me just say that. But it's still, no matter what, those are the things where you're like, yes, 5-0, do you 5-0, we love you. But on a regular, routine traffic stop, a 29-year-old man who happens to love skateboarding, photography, and sunsets loses his life. That's when it's memes. That's when it's make it make sense. That's when the math ain't mathin'. Like I said, I got a lot more for you guys to watch and listen to here. This is crazy. And yes, Hoblone, I will be showing that. I had a whole other show planned up with all kinds of receipts for you guys, and then this popped up, and you guys wanted to see this, so I'm showing you guys this first. I will show you photos of the guys here in just a minute. Let's rock and roll with this and hear the rest of what they got to say. All right, let's go.
It was the police culture in America that killed Tyre Nichols. So you're going to hear from our civil rights leader here in Memphis. He's standing with many other great civil rights leaders, the SCLC, and I know the National Urban League is also a great presence here in Memphis. But we want to introduce to you one of our co-counsels, who is a great civil rights leader here, our NAACP president for the Memphis chapter, Attorney Van Turner. Justice for Tyre! Justice for Tyre! Justice for Tyre! My name is Van Turner, and I'm here for justice for Tyre. I could really go take my seat after that. It's really that simple. There's not much else to say. We know the video will be horrific. We know that this happened at Ross and Reigns. I just found out that this was in an area that I represented as a county commissioner. And part of what we did on the commission was put skycop cameras up in that community to help combat crime. Little did we know we would be combating this type of criminal behavior as well. Isn't that something? We put skycop cameras up to assist the police in fighting crime in our community, and yet they come and commit the very same crimes that we're trying to fight against. But glory be to God that a skycop camera was there to catch what happened. And so we want to again stand with this family. I'm here with my cohort, Vicky Terry. She's the executive director. We fight together for the cause of the NAACP. Know that President Derrick Johnson has sent his regards. He has sent his soldiers down from the national office of the NAACP to stand next to this family. Know that the NAACP national organization is standing with this family, and we will fight to the end. We will fight with Attorney Ben Crump. We will fight with this family. We will fight with Push, and we will fight with all those who are seeking justice for Tyre. We want to thank Pastor Thomas for opening this church up again. Y'all thank Pastor Thomas. Give him a hand. We want to thank all those who are here fighting for justice for Tyre. I was at the candlelight vigil last night, and it was such a beautiful look. All of Memphis came together. Folks who you wouldn't think could come together came together in support of this family. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to stand united. We're going to peacefully protest, but we're going to protest. We're going to make sure that policy is put forth and implemented correctly. And we're going to make sure that Tyre Nichols did not die in vain. We're going to make sure that he not die in vain. We're going to keep fighting for him. We're going to keep fighting for this family. Y'all pray for this family. Y'all pray for our city. Tonight will be one of the toughest nights that we've ever experienced in this city. But we will get through. We will get through. Let's stick together. Let's fight together. Justice for Tyre!
One thing I do want to point out, I just saw a comment from Nicole B. I wanted to grab this real quick. And this is true. She said, protests typically happen because a lack of arrests. They were arrested. So now what? Well, something very interesting, because let's keep it real. And it's still me, Kenya. Thank you so much for being a member for the past month. I really do appreciate it. In a member chat, she said, 100% hail to the nah, the Pascal show, baby. Him guilty. Heart emojis. Thank you so much for the comment. Now, one thing I do want to point out is this, and we're going to go back to this. I promise you this, but this is some information that you guys may want to know. You just may want to know. So I'm going to show this to you guys real quick. But first and foremost, I know you guys were asking for this too, so let me show you guys this too. These are the faces of the 5 officers that were arrested. Let me just that were actually the ones that took the life, beat Tyre Nichols within an inch. Well, man, beat him to his demise, beat him to his end. All 5 of them right there. All 5 of them. Soak it in. I will show it again in a little bit. I'll show this again later. Okay? I will. And Brad said 2 sides to every story. Now, here it is. There is 2 sides to every story. Absolutely. And that's the reason why it is absolutely crucial that we get this body cam footage. I got so much more video for you guys to show you guys, because it will show you what other cops have been saying. I have to show you guys that, but we're on this live right now, so I'm trying to squeeze these in the middle of these kind of things, because I know that the mom is eventually going to talk. They got everybody and their mama talking first, and it's like, I want to hear the mama. That's all I care about. I want to hear the mom speak. So hopefully we'll hear that soon. But while we are waiting for that moment to happen, because there's another person that's stepping forward to speak here in just a second, I will be playing that live video here in just a second. But I just want to show you guys, these are the 5. But there's something else that the only pushback I'm going to give Nicole B right now on why I think people are going to start losing their doggone minds. And here's it is. Let me pull this down real quick so I can show this to you guys. Bam. All right. Let me pull this up. Tyre Nichols' demise. 5 ex-Memphis police officers charged with M have been released on bond. This is what I was going to show you guys earlier, but hey, you know, I understand these things do happen. I hate when this thing happens here too. There's only so much I can do with this thing, so we're just going to do what it is. Do what it do. But 5 officers fired last week from the Memphis Police Department face M charges, okay, and other charges in the demise earlier this month of 29-year-old in the demise earlier this month of 29-year-old Tyre Nichols. Now, we already know all this information, blah, blah, blah. Let me see where it says here. Now, 4 of them, as of a few hours ago, had been released from jail. Okay? Now, the 5th former police officer charged with M has now been released from jail on bond. This is an update as of 11:40 Eastern. So about 10:40 Central Standard Time, my time. Okay? So today, let me check, make sure. Yep, today's the 27th. So the last former police officer who remained jailed Friday after being charged with M and other charges in the demise of Nichols has been released on bond. So some people, and this is Demetrius Haley, okay, was the last officer released, according to the news station. His bond had been set for $350,000, the jail records show. Okay, so then there was earlier Emmett Martin III, who also had a bond of $350,000, was also released. And also Bean Mills Jr. and Justin Smith, who each had bonds set at $250,000, were also set free. So the reason why I can see why the streets might be on fire tonight or this whole weekend, why there might be protests all over the place, is because these 5 men, I'll show you their faces one more again. Let me get that. These 5 men right here are out breathing in the freedom air right now. And if the video, which I understand there's 2 sides to every story, totally true, okay? In fact, there are 6 sides to this story right now. But that body cam footage is going to be either the smoking gun or it's going to exonerate these 5. I doubt it. From what other police officers have said, other Memphis police officers, high up, top cops, have been saying, talking about what has been depicted in this body cam footage. It is saying proof positive. No cop would ever go on to any of these interviews. I'm going to show it to you guys in just a second. Go on to any of these interviews and say what they said if these guys were innocent. They would never go and detail this, saying this is worse than RK. Rodney King, not R. Kelly. Real talk. They would never say that stuff. They'd be like, yes, it's we totally understand why this all went down. This was totally justified, so on and so forth. This one particular person went out of their way to say different. Okay? They went out of their way to say that this body cam footage defies humanity. What else do you need? Memphis is going to be bad tonight, baby. When they release this footage, and if it is exactly how this Memphis top cop says about this fatal traffic stop that turned into the beating to the demise of this young 29-year-old Tyre Nichols, if it depicts anything that what this Memphis top cop said, we in trouble. We in some serious trouble. Let me get into this. We got the mama is apparently talking here now. Yes, there we go. The moment we've all been waiting for, myself at least. Okay. So let's take a listen and take a look. Natalie C., thank you so much for becoming a member. Welcome to the family. Thank you so much for being a member of the family, okay? Welcome to the chaos, all right? But let's hear what the mama got to say. Don't forget to hit that like button. Let's rock and roll.
Thank you all for coming and showing support for my family and my son. I really appreciate everything everyone is doing. My son is looking down, smiling because, it's funny. He always said he was going to be famous one day. I didn't know this is what he meant, but if I really don't know what else to say right now. I've said so many things in the last few days, and really I want to say I've never seen the video, but what I've heard is very horrific, very horrific. And any of you who have children, please don't let them see it.
Try to turn it up a little bit more, guys. She's talking kind of quiet.
Ask for prayer for my family, this whole community. And I want to say to the 5 police officers that murdered my son, you also disgraced your own families when you did this. But you know what? I'm going to pray for you and your families, because at the end of the day, this shouldn't have happened. This just shouldn't have happened. And we want justice for my son. Justice for my son.
Justice for Tyre. 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 Justice for Tyre.
I just want to thank everybody again for coming. I have a lot of words that I want to say, but they're just not coming out right.
No, you're fine.
And I still haven't had time to grieve yet. I'm still.
I try to turn on closed captioning for you guys, so hopefully it'll get things popping here. Hold on.
Still dealing with the death of my son. This was not supposed to happen. My son was supposed to be with me today. I'm gonna always know that I'll always be with him, because I told everyone he has a tattoo of my name on his arm. My son loved me to death, and I loved him to death. And so
Now this thing's tripping. All right.
this is very difficult for me. I'm sorry if I'm not articulating myself a little bit better.
You're doing fine.
But no mother, no mother should go through what I'm going through right now. No mother to lose their child to the violent way that I lost my child. Thank you.
Benjamin Trump, when he claps his hands, they're like gunshots to the ears. I swear to God. Holy cow.
Okay, we will try to take your questions, and then we will have a prayer for peace from Bishop Williamson. Yes, sir. And Attorney Ramanujan, you can.
How can you hear that? I can't even hear that.
For a mother to know that their child was calling them in their need and I wasn't there for him, do you know how I feel right now? Because I wasn't there for my son. I was telling someone that I had this really bad pain in my stomach earlier, not knowing what had happened. But once I found out what happened, that was my son's pain that I was feeling. And I didn't even know. But for me to find out that my son was calling my name and I was only feet away and did not even hear him, you have no clue how I feel right now. No clue.
Terrible.
Okay, we'll try to limit the questions for Ms. Wells, and we'll try to take all of them. You asked, why hasn't it changed? Well, we have been dealing with racism and discrimination in America, and, racism across the world for hundreds of years. And it's going to have to be intentional, being able to disseminate, deconstruct racism and bias. And as I said, it is the institutionalized police culture. It's not just the police culture, it's the justice system. We have bias in every aspect of society. And so you don't see officers doing this to white citizens because our court system has said that they value white life more than any other life. And so we finally have to speak truth to power on these issues to say the reason why we keep seeing it happen to black and brown people is because it is the culture in this society that we can marginalize brown and black people, that we can trample on the constitutional rights of black and brown people. And that's why we have to continue to say, no, it's not equal justice for some, it's equal justice for all. Yes, they have a right as any American citizen to have a reasonable bail because they are presumed innocent and to proven guilty. We don't want to change any of the standards because they are black police officers. Whatever has been done for other officers who were not black, who committed these crimes on video, well, it should be equal justice. Everybody is presumed innocent until proven guilty in America. Well, I'm going to ask my co-counsel, Attorney Ramanujan, and Attorney Turner to speak to those. Tony, from a national standpoint about these specialized units, and then Attorney Turner about here.
So your question was, how do we clean this up? Yeah. Well, you have to start with swift activity. And the swift activity is the call out to stop and disband this unit. And then from there, going in and restoring trust. Well, how do you restore trust? How about real community policing, as opposed to suppression and racist policing? That's where you have to start. But let me tell you how your question matches the gentleman's question in the front row. Why do we see this continuing to happen? I'll give you 2 reasons. It's a two-way street. The community wants it, but the other side doesn't want it. The unions don't want it. This is like a carnival. You see the strong man trying to hit the target and ring the bell, and it's a rigged game? Well, we try to ring the bell, but we can't because it's rigged. Until we start reform with municipalities and the union contracts, where real reform is baked in, that's when you'll start seeing real changes. Number 2, call out the lawmakers in Washington who failed on the George Floyd Police Reform Act. Call them out. You want change? We need federal change, not only state change.
Well said, Attorney Ramanucci. Yes, Sarah. Well, let's get you for the mic.
This particular incident happened on the weekend. Tyre and his dad, they work for FedEx. They both work second shift, and they come home for lunch every day at 7 o'clock. I would have dinner cooked, they would eat, hang out, and go back to work. Well, now my husband is coming home every day, but not my son. So it was a Saturday. He was coming from Shelby Farms about the time of the incident because he liked to go and watch the sunset and take pictures. That was his thing. My son loved the sunsets. That was his passion. He loved photography. He loved skateboarding. He was just his own person, you know. He didn't follow what everybody else was doing. I tried to buy him a pair of Jordans one time, and he thought, Mama, he wants some Vans, you know. So I'm just telling you guys, my son was a beautiful soul. He was a good boy. No one's perfect, but he was damn near. He was close to the home. Yes. He was scared for his life. And just what I thought, like I said, I didn't see the video, but everyone asked me what I thought happened. And I told them, the TBI people and everybody. And I told them, now you proved me wrong.
She said that before she knew about the video, just from seeing the photograph that they took in the hospital. Seeing him in the hospital that next day with his head swelled up. They said beyond recognition and his legs swollen. Yeah. I think briefly to try to respond to the first part of your question, as Attorney Ramanucci said, the police chief should disband the Scorpion unit immediately. I am sad to even think that what you said is true, that they would use African-American officers to go berate African-American citizens because they thought it would get less attention. We know that other citizens have now come forward to my office saying that their constitutional rights were violated by the Scorpion unit and that they actually tried to report them and nothing happened. So, you know, we cannot give anybody a pass on our constitutional rights, on our dignity, on our humanity. It doesn't matter if it's a black police officer or a white police officer. And that's what hurts so bad, because you want them to see the humanity in us, and you keep thinking to yourself, these officers got to understand that, you know, that could have been your brother, your little brother. Tyre could have been your little brother. Would you want anybody to do what you were doing to Tyre to your little brother? And that's how you have to think about it, that what if this was my family member? Hopefully every police officer in America would start thinking when they interact with a citizen, what if this was my brother or my sister or my child? That's what we want. We want compassion and respect. The same way you de-escalate with white citizens, well, de-escalate with black citizens too. We all want to get home to our families. We want you to get home to your family, and we want to get home to our mama. We'll take a few more. Yes. Let's go. Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. Well, one of the first things I always try to do, and Silk and Kareem and a lot of people who are activists end up working for my law firm, because when you have a commitment to justice, that's what we want to be about. And I always want to thank the activists. Every press conference, the first thing I do is come and thank the activists, because without you all, we wouldn't be at this point. Nobody was talking about justice for Tyre like Kareem Ali and you all. I mean, yeah, I kept saying there's something going on with this Attorney Croft, and I want to applaud you all privately and publicly, because without you all, we wouldn't get justice for Tyre, we wouldn't have got justice for George Floyd, we wouldn't have got justice for Ahmaud Arbery, we won't get justice for Breonna Taylor without the activists serving as our co-counsels. There's no way we can get justice, so we thank all the activist community. Just two more. These two. Well, I'll say this and then I'll let Tony speak. I think that the DA had the benefit of being able to slow down the tape and dissect the video and look at blow by blow, kick by kick, strike by strike with the police stick, you know, every aspect of it. So I want to believe that they tried to show respect to Mr. and Mrs. Wells and charge them with the most they felt they could get a conviction on. And make no mistake about it, the video, when you all said, you all try to think to yourself, what are the correct charges? Because we all got eyesight. We don't need anybody to interpret it for us. You look at that video for yourself and you say, were the actions intentional? I mean, when you kicking somebody and it's not a reaction kick, you actually like stutter for a minute and make sure that you get the kick in. That seems intentional as anything you can imagine. Attorney Robert Lucci.
Yes, thank you.
Who just wants to let him respond to this?
Yeah, I just want to confirm, lest anybody ever thought that there was an exaggeration or an overstatement as to what you will see. Number one, look at the charges, read the charges, and you will see that there has been none. Secondly, our independent medical autopsy, our medical examiner, and I'm allowed to give the quote, she said that these injuries are consistent with a severe beating. That is the quote. So when you take that quote and you understand what we've seen and what the charges are, those are maximum charges. Murder requires a little bit more something, and I agree with Ben that the state's attorney looked at these charges and did whatever they could. Whether or not there's any other charges out there, well, maybe the evidence will bear that out. But don't forget, this is what the charges bear out. When you look at the medical examiner and the charges, there's consistency.
Thank you, Tony. And remember, on the video, there's some audio, so you will hear audio, and that is very compelling because it kind of tells what your intent is when you say things. Yes, sir.
Boy, oh boy.
Well, we look forward to getting the radio transactions and any calls that were made, because we don't know anything other than we got to see the video. So they say he was driving recklessly. You know, we have to see it. We certainly can't take their word for it. And if not, then it goes to what Attorney Ramanucci said. A lot of these stops are pretext stops. You know, yes, ma'am.
It'll come back. But while we're at it, Carrie, thank you so much for becoming a member of the family. Welcome to the family. Thank you so much. But yeah, I think a lot of questions will be answered once the body cam footage comes out. Can't hear any of this. But hopefully she has a question here. It'll come back. It'll come back. And Cian, you ain't wrong. It's already we ain't even we're what 26 days into this mug. What the heck happened? We're 26 days into this mug, and it's already 27 days into this mug. I'm sorry, and it's already just absolutely a cluster F. Let's see what happened here. Hopefully, I can get this back. That's very weird that it cut out like that. Hopefully, it'll figure out what it's doing. Hold on. Okay, let me scroll that back. Hopefully, I got an answer for this. So it's still percolating, it's still thinking and everything. But anyway, I mean, I whatever the question is, hold on. Let me see if I can change the resolution. Maybe it'll help with that too. But I mean, we basically got the gist of it. Obviously, at the end of the day, we're still got to find out what is on the body cam footage. What was captured, what was depicted, all that. But to go back to, because I'm going to, oh, come on. Yeah. I think that's it for now on that one. Okay, guys. But Nancy, thank you so much for the 5. As much as the mother wants peaceful demonstrations, showing this body cam footage to America on Friday evening is going to cause mayhem. See, now the thing is that this is not, this is not going to be. I mean, I don't remember how it goes down, right? When it comes to if it's up to the family, if they, well, obviously they have the rights if they want it released to the public or not. That is true. They could literally say, we want privacy. We don't want people to see this footage right now. But it would leak anyway. Someone would leak it out. Okay. Someone would definitely leak it out. But it is kind of frustrating that they're releasing the information now, but also at the same time, this is the same thing of Emmett Till. This is the same situation on so many other police brutality, or not just police brutality, but other horrific moments that have happened to young Black men in this country where it's like, no, I want to show warts and all, show the truth. As horrific as it is, I don't care. The people need to know the truth on what happened to my son or what happened to my loved one. So I think that she is literally sitting there going, I don't care. I don't care. Because she may think that no matter what, the streets are going to be people are going to be out in the streets protesting, whether it goes out on a Friday or it goes out on a Monday. Okay. It is really bad, though. It's terrible. When they get this stuff out, it's a wrap. It's a full-on wrap. Everybody and their mama is going to be seeing this, and it's going to be images that we won't be able to unsee. Now, I don't know if I'm going to watch the footage first when I get it and then make a decision, because I might be cutting. I might have to do some editing to cut some things out or to blur things on the camera or, on the body cam footage, because, YouTube is very, very hardcore on putting out information or showing images of anything in a graphic nature. So obviously I want to check out the footage first before I do anything, because YouTube is insane with that kind of stuff now. Okay. But at the same time, I can understand why the mother or the family is going, hey, let's put this out. Put it out. We need to show the truth. The truth needs to be seen. We can't be hiding this stuff, right? So I understand that piece. It's really up to you if you want to see it, right? So that maybe you understand why people are up in arms, why there's so much frustration, why there's so much anger. Now, I'm going to go back to what I was trying to show you guys before, okay? Because this is important stuff as well. Now, back to the very top of the show, I basically told you guys, all right, this is some serious ish. You got a Memphis cop speaking out and talking about this and saying that there's some serious stuff going on and that this footage defies humanity. And I quote, defies humanity. Okay? That is a very, very specific thing to say after you've seen body cam footage. In fact, this same officer is right here in this interview, and we're going to take a listen to this as well. She even says not only that it defies humanity, but that this body cam footage is worse than Rodney King. Let's take a look. Hit the number one. Let me know you guys can hear this. Let's rock and roll.
And you can see now I'm joined live now by the Memphis Police Chief, C.J. Davis. Thank you, Chief, for joining us. I really appreciate it. I'm going to wear my glasses so that because I have very specific things I want to ask you about the charges. These 5 officers have now been charged with second-degree murder in the death of Tyre Nichols. What's your reaction to these very serious charges?
Well, I expected serious charges. I really did. Actually, the charges that were placed, or at least the administrative charges, were probably the most severe that I've seen in my career, but they were absolutely appropriate.
You heard that, right? This is Chief Davis, Chief C.J. Davis of the Memphis Police, saying that these charges are justified. Right off the bat, we ain't even 30 seconds in this mug. Okay? But she is literally saying this. The chief of police of Memphis, of the Memphis Police Department, is speaking out. She is the one who is saying these things, saying that the things that are seen in this body cam footage is so horrifying. It's worse than Rodney King. Let's continue.
And I knew that the next step would be in the hands of the DA's office, so I am not surprised.
These were pretty
Not surprised.
Extraordinary measures, I must say, in all the times that I've been covering these types of incidents, to fire the officers and to charge them so strictly. Does that speak to what we're going to see on that videotape when it is released after 7 p.m. Eastern?
Absolutely. I think that, it also speaks to the fact that, over the last several years, we have all talked about police legitimacy, and police reform. And I think it's really important that in instances like this, when they are serious, when they do rise to that level where a person's constitutional rights have been violated, their civil rights have been violated, that we act and we act swiftly.
Mm-hmm. When did you first learn about this incident, Chief?
It was probably about 4:00 in the morning. That the previous day, 8:00 at night, 9:00, this incident occurred. About 4:00 in the morning, I learned of the incident, and it was just a strange summary of what occurred on a traffic stop. And I decided to go in the office and meet with the individuals that had information that I could take a look at it, even though at that time Tyre was in the hospital. But still, because he had injuries that I just didn't understand. It was incomprehensible to me. We came in the office and decided to take a look that Sunday morning, and it was alarming.
Okay. So unfortunately, guys, I got to go in and out of these videos. I could play the whole thing, but then I get in trouble for doing those things. So I have to jump in and out, just so you guys know. But obviously, this officer does not need to get up on here and talk about any of this stuff. She doesn't even need to say any of this stuff at all if nothing wrong happened. But clearly something wrong happened. She's just the 2 minutes that she has spoken so far. She is stepping forward and being, one, very transparent, but also she is also saying these things because she's also trying to soften the blow. You got to remember that too. She's trying to soften the blow for any person that lives in Memphis or anybody across the country, if not the globe. All right. She's trying to soften the blow so that it's not going off like a powder keg. But it could very well do that no matter what. But because, it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't. Does she speak out about it? Does she talk about it, saying that it defies humanity? Is that a good idea? Or does that just keep stoking the flames or adding logs to the fire, right? Or does she just stay quiet and just let it drop and let it be what it is? Those are the decisions, those are the choices that she has. But at the end of the day, I do commend this chief of police for stepping forward and being transparent, because that's what we need more than anything else, is that transparency. Stepping forward. I haven't heard anything as far as accountability of anything, but we are still waiting on accountability from those 5 officers, which have all been bailed out so far. But let's continue. But real quick, Andy, thank you so much for the 10. If in fact the actions defy humanity, it should not be second degree, but first. And that obviously is up to the lawyers and all the legalese, all right, all the esquires that are involved in this particular case. Are they going to be able to push it to a first degree M or not? We don't know. It also depends on what is depicted in the body cam footage, right? It seems like Benjamin Crump has already seen it, or at least knows very graphic details about everything. But yeah, I mean, if it is horrific like that, defies humanity, yeah, it makes you wonder, why aren't they pushing for first? But we'll see. We will see. Let's hear some more.
That's Sunday morning is when you first saw the video?
That's absolutely right.
And then when you saw it, what was your reaction?
I was outraged. It was incomprehensible to me. It was unconscionable. And I felt that I needed to do something, and do something quickly. I don't think I've witnessed anything of that nature in my entire career.
Wow.
Really.
That bad?
It was that bad.
Yo. Okay. Let's play.
What are we going to see then?
You're going to see acts that defy humanity. You're going to see a disregard for life, duty of care that we're all sworn to, and a level of physical interaction that is above and beyond what is required in law enforcement. And and I'm sure that, as I said before, that individuals watching will feel what the family felt. And if you don't, then you're not a human being.
Absolutely. You have no heart. If you don't feel how these parents feel, doesn't matter race. It doesn't. It's the human. It's the human heart. It's the human spirit. It's about being a human being on this planet. It's being an American citizen or a citizen of the world. It doesn't matter. If the way she's describing it is that bad, then no person should be sitting here trying to find excuses or anything of that sort. Brutality is brutality. Okay? A disregard for human life is a disregard for human life. Okay? And even this officer who has seen it all, saying she has never seen something like this before in her life. Hamburger. That says a lot, y'all. Let's continue.
And we all are human beings. And I think there will be a measure of sadness as well.
How long do these incidents go on? We heard from the district attorney yesterday and from the head of the TBI that there were 2 separate incidents, right?
Yes.
How long do they go on? And what was the worst part of it? Because it has been said that the officers became charged.
Yes.
During the second incident, that they got more riled up.
Well, from the very beginning, to me, they were riled up. I don't think they were as amped up as they were on the second, at the second scene, but just the nature of the stop, very aggressive, loud, communication. And it just rose from there. It escalated from there. Mr. Nichols was able to get away from these officers, and they found him again at another location. And at that point, there was an amount of aggression that is unexplainable.
Real quick, because I know somebody just said this. Kelseysification said second incident. Yeah, there was 2 incidents that happened in this. He got pulled over. There was an altercation, or the first incident where apparently they sprayed him with mace, and then he took off running. Then they caught up to him, and then that's when they went in on him. Okay, so there were 2 separate incidents in the same traffic stop, if that makes any sense. Of course, this officer is explaining it here as well. Let's continue.
You know, in any instance where you're apprehending someone, even in the worst situations when there is resistance, officers still have the responsibility to exercise care and regard for any individual that's in custody or they're attempting to apprehend. And they're trained to do that.
And to de-escalate.
And to de-escalate. And that's a piece I think that is in question, but I think the escalation was there from the officers before training even needed to come in as it relates to de-escalate.
Man.
The escalation was already at a high level.
So you're saying they did everything wrong? Nothing that you think this was outside of their training, everything?
Oh, absolutely.
This is Chief of Police, Chief of Memphis Police, stepping up and saying all this, at least as far as the body cam footage that she saw with her own 2 peepers, y'all. She is saying that these cops were all wrong for how they approached the situation, how they treated him, and of course, how they beat him to the point of his demise. Chief of Police, everybody. If that doesn't tell you that we're about to see something that we don't want to really see, I don't know what else to tell you. And I think this is very important. I'm happy. No, you know what I mean? For lack of a better term, because this is obviously not happy. This is not a joyous conversation. But I am happy that she stepped forward, that this chief stepped forward and spoke out and said these guys were absolutely wrong in what they did. The way that they approached the situation, how they treated him from the jump, y'all. They're saying from the jump, from the moment they pulled him over, Tyre Nichols, young man, 29 years old, who just loves skateboarding, photography, and sunsets, was pulled over and treated like absolute garbage by 5 officers. And they all went up to him, treating him like absolute trash. And apparently, again, these are the 5 right here. I'll blow it up again for you can see all their muggly-ish faces real quick. But I do want to point this out too, and a quick reminder, okay? Another quick reminder. All right? That even in this title here, the 5 were amped up. The 5 cops were amped up. This whole thing was worse than Rodney King. And he wasn't driving recklessly, as footage is going to be released later today, basically this evening. But that says a lot for someone, police officer, chief of police, to step forward, because we all know, we've all heard those stories of police officers, you know, the departments trying to bury the truth and trying to protect their own and all that. Nope, she ain't doing that. She out here going, I'm gonna expose everybody. She put them all out there. Put them all out there, y'all. With zero dams. Giving 0 dams. Because transparency is everything, okay? Transparency is more important than anything when it comes to these types of tragedies. The fact that these tragedies even exist is still beyond me, okay? Still absolutely beyond me. But the fact that she has stepped forward and said these things and is continuing to say these things explains a lot. and also tells us exactly what we're about to lay our eyes on here very soon. Less than just in about 5 hours from now, they will be putting out to the public the body cam footage. And I don't know if it's going to be all angles, okay? Or if it's only going to be one specific body cam. Remember, this is a whole altercation. This altercation could last more than just a few minutes. This could be a 30-minute long piece of body cam footage. But they will be releasing that information here very soon. And of course, not all of us are ready. Not all of us are wanting to see that stuff, which is totally understandable. Because again, no one ever wants to see the people that a young person that you love and care for, and then and maybe if you know them, you respect, lose their life in this way. Like I said, someone who is this young 29-year-old guy, just a regular guy. He was a son and father who enjoyed skateboarding, photography, and sunsets, like I said before. There are videos out here showing him. There are videos of him skateboarding and all that. Just a good kid, good guy. And this whole thing, this whole altercation could have been for nothing. Totally unjustified. And this kid his life could have been taken in cold blood. So it's sad, guys. And of course, we're still waiting to hear if there's any more information before the obvious thing that we're all waiting for. The whole world, including the city of Memphis, is bracing themselves for this body cam footage to come out. All right. You know what? Someone just asked, can I share? Okay. Let's see what I can do here real quick. Because unfortunately I got to wrap up this show. But and of course I can't play the actual video because of copyright, like the music or anything, but because of copyright stuff. But let me see what I can do really quick so you guys can see a little bit of this man in action, of course. Because unfortunately I can't play the music, guys. But let me do this here. Again, this is a young guy who just loved. Again, I can't show you guys or I can't play the music, unfortunately. So I got to mute this. But let me just share with you guys the video. It's just a little bit of Tyre Nichols skateboarding, living his life. Again, a young man who just loves skateboarding. Pretty dope stuff. And what's interesting is still, he's just driving, you know. Dirty Mac, exactly. You know, he was just minding his own business, just driving. They pulled him over. From what it sounds like, it's a whack excuse. He was allegedly driving recklessly, but according to Memphis police chief, she's saying that it was not reckless driving. That he was just driving his car. And then they just come at him. For what reason, we don't know. For what reason, we do not know. But again, 29-year-old Tyre Nichols. He was a son. He was a father. He was a skateboarder, a photographer, and a lover of sunsets. And now he's no longer here because 5 officers decided to take his life. For power, for greed, for whatever it is. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the reason. And there shouldn't even be, we shouldn't even be wondering what the reason is. Period, point blank. Because his life should still be on this planet. His life should not have been taken. Period, guys. Period. It's very, very sad, guys. But of course, as we get the body cam footage, I will definitely be watching it first before I even show it on this show, because I'm probably going to have to cut things out before I share anything, because I don't know how bad it is. And it could be I don't know. The whole thing could just be filled with violence, and it could be too graphic to even show you guys on the show. But I will definitely try to at least have a discussion with you guys about it on the show or something, because it is definitely something that needs to be talked about soon. All right. So be on the lookout for a little bit later on this evening when the footage does come out. I will be taking a look at it. I'm not ready for it. I don't want to watch it, but at the same time, we need to see it. We need to know what actually went down. So I'll try to figure out what's the best way to present this to you guys in the most humane and most respectful way I can. Okay. So if you guys can do me a favor, because, you know, it helps get the story out here, because these kind of stories don't really get out there like that. So help by hitting that like button down below. That would really, really mean a lot. All right. Send it past 600 likes. A like doesn't cost a thing. It just helps this story get out there to as many faces and to as many people as possible. We do need to get transparency and justice for Tyre Nichols. Man, I would love for this to be something where, or I'm hoping that this is something that police in every corner of this country start to look into their department and start making some changes. And I've said this a million times already, all the way from George Floyd to Ahmaud Arbery and so on and so on and so on. And it's frustrating because it still feels like nothing has changed. I'm hoping that what I'm saying, I'm hoping that I'm wrong, that one day I can say that I'm wrong. So we'll see what happens, okay? So hit that like button down below, and please do not forget to hit that subscribe button. You know I talk about everything on this channel, everything from pop culture, true crime, controversy, politics even, okay? You name it, we talk about it right here on The Pascal Show, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button, okay? Anyway, guys, it's time for me to get going, but I will be on a little bit later on this evening when this video does drop, okay? And we will hopefully hold hands and watch it together as a family, okay? Anyway, guys, I appreciate all y'all for being here. Talk to you guys soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys very soon. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.